How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. We are back, and today we're going to be taking a look at what is going on in the world of football.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right.
So of course, DT's Daily is back, and if you are a new subscriber or you've just forgotten what DT's Daily is about over the last 15-16 months, it's where I take a look at what is going on in the world of football. It could be any club, it could be anything that is in the news right now. So with that said, let's go and get straight into the biggest piece of news which broke yesterday, and that is about Liverpool. And the club is up for sale, and this was quite a bit of a surprise, to be honest with you. I know they're not having the greatest of seasons, but when you put it into perspective and what has happened to Liverpool over the last 5 years or so, especially since Jurgen Klopp took over, it has come as a bit of a shock. And the latest at the moment is that FSG confirmed in a statement that they're prepared to sell their controlling stake in Liverpool. That's quite significant, and I suppose, you know, Liverpool fans are going to be sitting there thinking, what now? What happens? You know, are they going to have somebody look to come into the club that's going to end up being like a Manchester City owner or a Newcastle owner, where the sky's the limit sort of thing? I think that, yeah, it is uncertain times when new owners come in. I think Chelsea recently had this same dilemma, you know, when Abramovich left and whatnot. And yeah, it's... Look, embrace it at the end of the day. That's what I say. You never know what owner you're going to get. Being an Arsenal fan, I, know exactly how bad things can be with owners. At the moment, things are going well because the owners, you've got to give them credit where credit's due, because they backed Mikel Arteta and we're sitting top of the league right now. I know we've not won anything, but so far so good. But yeah, who knows? Could they end up with owners like Manchester United? That's such a weird one as well. You see Manchester United fans up in arms constantly about the owners and everything else. And since Sir Alex Ferguson left in the last 10 years, I believe it is, they spent over £1 billion. Like, they've spent more than everybody. And I don't know, it's just a weird one with Manchester United. I'm not directly linked to the club and, really pay attention the way I do Arsenal. So maybe I'm wrong in some respects, but it just seems like when things are going right at Manchester United, it's all great. And then when things are going wrong, they bring out the yellow and green scarves and everything's, all falling apart. It's crazy. I feel for them in some respects, but in some I don't, because you've spent money. Like, why are you moaning? Maybe a Manchester United fan will be able to give me an in-depth, reasoning behind why it is the way that it is. So, we don't know. So what now for Liverpool in that respect? Well, I think that one of the reasons why this is all, coming out is because of the failed European Super League. I think they're also looking at the market value, and like I was touching on earlier on with Chelsea, they sold for £4.25 billion. Liverpool, they're looking probably in the region of around about 4 billion. And you've got to remember that FSG brought Liverpool for 300 million. So if they do sell that for 4 billion, then wow, that's one hell of a profit. And I believe they've been at Liverpool for around about 12 years. 2011 they took over, near enough 12 years. We all know what was happening at Liverpool before that with Gillette and Hicks, and they run the club into the ground. And I think the one thing that Liverpool have on their side is the history, the heritage of Liverpool Football Club. They're a huge club, one of the biggest in world football. And, the fan base and everything, yes, it's global. So it would be a very appealing investment for somebody. But who that somebody will be, we obviously don't know. What does it mean for Jurgen Klopp? I know that question's been asked by Liverpool fans. And again, I suppose you don't really know. Like I said, it's been a difficult season for Liverpool, but I just can't see Jurgen Klopp leaving anytime soon. Obviously, that may change depending on a new owner, what happens, etc., etc. But I think for the foreseeable, Jurgen Klopp is there to stay. And, you know, the proof is in what he's achieved at Liverpool. So, interesting times at Liverpool, and we will, of course, keep an eye and see what happens. Now, yesterday, the Europa League draw. That brought up some interesting ties. Now, for all of you that are not aware, the draw was for the teams that finished second in their groups and for the teams that dropped down from the Champions League. It means that they will be playing an extra 2 games in February. This is something that Arsenal do not need to do because they finished top of the group. But this is something that Manchester United do need to do because they finished second. And would you believe it? They draw Barcelona. The one game they probably looked at and said, please do not draw us against Barcelona. And they have. Manchester United will be away first, and then they will be playing the second leg at Old Trafford. And you look at some of the ties, Juventus against Nantes, Sporting Lisbon against Midtjylland, Shakhtar Donetsk against Rennes, Ajax against Union Berlin, Bayer Leverkusen against Monaco, Sevilla against PSV. So when you look at that, you probably think that, yeah, we finished second, we would have gone against Sevilla. Salzburg against Roma. And of course, that's Jose Mourinho's team, Roma. So, yes, very, very, very interesting when you look at that. Of all the teams that dropped down from the Champions League, with all due respect to them, Barcelona is the one team you would not want to have gone against. So, very, very interesting indeed in that respect. So, in terms of the papers and what is being said, of course, so many papers are all talking about the Liverpool situation and what is going on. There's a few problems going on at Rangers, and the fans are going to get an opportunity to have questions with the board because it's the annual shareholders meeting, which is scheduled for next month. That's always a good opportunity for fans to say what they think, you know, when things are not going right at the club. And of course, Rangers have had a awful time in the Champions League. I think there's been no, way of escaping that. And in that respect, yeah, it's an interesting one, that's for sure. Of course, Southampton, they have sacked their manager, Ralph Hasenhüttl. I think that one was kind of inevitable, to be quite honest with you, when you look at it, because fans weren't happy. And listen, when fans become unhappy at a club now, and when fans start to get a voice, ultimately, they normally get their way. And the thing is with Southampton, they've not, pulled the trigger immediately. They've not kind of just had a little bad run of games and they've instantly gone, right, get rid of him. This has been a succession from last season going into this. And I think that when you look at the Newcastle result at the weekend, it kind of was the final nail in the coffin. And I think that's kind of where it had to be. So there's a story here that says about Premier League clubs want to rules on signing foreign players to be relaxed, but are facing a battle with the FA. Which fears doing so would have a negative impact on the England team. They don't go into great depth in that. So what I'm taking from that might be to do with the younger players, to do with, what is it that they have to get now when they have to get their visas and other things. And I think they have to be international recognised players, etc. Someone might be able to, enlighten me on the exact ruling of this. But I see where the FA are coming from because, years and years ago, for example, you could scour the market, and it could be wherever over the world, and find some of the best youngsters out there and bring them to the country. And what the FA are basically saying is that would, stop the growth of homegrown talent, English talent. You think about what English football's been doing of late with the younger players in the tournaments, under 21s, etc., and the success and everything. I can see what they're saying, that, you know, people want to go out there and maybe look further afield than just homegrown. And I think that, yeah, maybe they should relax it a little bit. But yeah, it's a touchy one. But yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with that. So yeah, listen, the last piece is obviously about yesterday with the video that was released. There's been a lot of talk. The feedback has been unbelievable. So many people have given their thoughts, whether it be, you know, positively, negatively. A lot of people saying that it's now time to move on. We get, you know, second chance in life and everything else. And I've got to say, you know, a massive thank you to everybody that do, you know, look at it in that aspect and say that he deserves a second opportunity. And only time will be able to show that I'm remorseful, sorry for my actions, and that I want to just move on with my life. And, you know, one person that a name has been mentioned is Lee Gunner. And I've had a lot of people saying, am I ever going to respond to stuff that he said? And, you know, I've seen the videos and everything, you know, when I went to prison and whatnot. And, you know, he took great satisfaction out of, you know, what went on and everything. But I don't hold any grudge about it. I don't look at it and I think that I need to respond in any way. You know, it's no secret that me and Lee have had our differences for whatever reasons and whatnot. And I don't wish to carry those on. I don't wish to, you know, have this conversation where I talk about other people and it's negative and everything else. If Lee wishes to do videos about me, if he wishes to talk about me and he wishes to, you know, put me down or whatever it might be, maybe even say something nice about me, that's his prerogative. I'm not going to stop him. I can't stop him from doing that. And, you know, I've got no issues with it. I wish Lee, you know, all the best with his future, his life, his channel and everything else. And you're not going to get a reaction from me in that respect. Like I said, it's water under a bridge. Whatever happened between me and Lee is in the past. Hopefully one day he can see that as well and he can say, you know what, it's time to move on, and you know, we'll never be friends or anything like that, but let's just put it to one side. Because if there's one thing that I have learned in the last 15-16 months is to have that much hatred in your heart for somebody is not good. And I just think that, you know, we all need to get along and we all need to, you know, just move on with our lives. And at the end of the day, you don't have to like somebody, but you don't have to hate somebody. And yeah, I'm not going to be, you know, entertaining any discussions, arguments, etc. about Lee. Like I said, I wish him well with whatever he decides to do with his life. And yeah, one day, who knows, maybe we can have a conversation. Maybe we can, you know, bury whatever happened in the past and everything else. And, you know, we can shake hands, move on. And like I said, don't need to be friends, but just get on with our lives. Do whatever we're, you know, doing with our own channels, etc., etc. And just get on with life, because it's too short, and it's as simple as that. So I can't really say no more. And that as well is something that I will not be, you know, getting into a conversation about again. And I've touched on it. It's something that I've seen everybody, you know, making comment about and referencing a few times. But that's all I really need to say. So hopefully he sees it. Hopefully he looks at, you know, what I've said, and he can see that it's remorseful, and that, you know, we can both just get on with our lives. And, you know, the offer's there if you want to accept it and you want to, you know, take that and just move on, then so be it. If not, I wish you well. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. We are back in a couple of days when we have a look over, you know, Carabao Cup action. There'll be Arsenal stuff, of course. And yeah, we'll continue, we'll grow, and we'll develop. So if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and I will see you lot soon. I'm out of it.